How did you become interested in this field?
All of my previous work in my earlier life was working in corporate offices. And although I really enjoyed that work, I discovered when I became a full-time mom and then a full-time caregiver to my own mother who has Alzheimer's disease, that I really find my best self when I work one-on-one directly taking care of people. So that's why I decided I would like to go into the healthcare field and train to become a phlebotomy technician.
So why would you like to work here?
LabCorp is a huge company with over 60,000 employees from all over the world. Your workforce is very diverse. And I've lived in Collin County for a long time now, and our current population has become very culturally diverse as well. And I really look forward to working with a company who has a strong track record of giving excellent care to people from all walks of life.
Why did you leave your last job?
My last job was working for a church as an executive assistant for a senior pastor. And I worked there for 2.5 years. And then the senior pastor retired, and the new incoming pastor did not need an executive assistant. So I retired at that time as well and decided to pursue a career in healthcare.
Well, tell me about your greatest accomplishment on the job.
So I have enjoyed all the different jobs that I have done, but I think the most difficult, most challenging one, and the one that I'm most proud of, is taking care of my mother in her Alzheimer's disease. I've been her primary caregiver for almost 9 years now, and I have had to learn how to face every difficult challenge that came along head on and marshal my resources in order to figure out what to do for her. I have learned how to network. I have learned how to advocate for her as a patient. I have learned how to advocate for her as a resident in an assisted living facility. And I have learned how to organize and keep track of all of her finances and all of her medical needs and her supplies and everything else she needs as well. So my proudest accomplishment has simply been figuring out how to do all of that and stay organized and become the best caregiver I can.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
So my long-term goal is to get my nursing degree. I would like to get an associate's degree in nursing from Collin College. And in order to do that, I will first complete my patient care technician training and then take my prerequisite courses for 2 semesters to get into nursing school and then complete my associate's degree in nursing. Once I get my RN certification, I want to work in a hospital setting as an RN.
What do you do in your free time?
In my free time, I serve at my church. I volunteer in 2 different ministries. I also take care of my baby granddaughter as often as I can. She's 9 months old and she's a true joy. And I also like to travel with my husband. He and I both enjoy scuba diving, so we try to do that a couple of times a year.
What was your favorite part of your last job?
So my favorite part of my last job was working directly one-on-one with the members of our congregation and the members of our staff at church. I enjoyed interacting with people directly, listening to them, setting up appointments for them with the pastoral staff, helping them access resources that they needed, and basically just meeting needs as we went along. There was a lot of detailed work involved in that position, and I really like detailed work, so I enjoyed that as well.
And your least favorite part?
So I didn't really have a least favorite part of my job working for the church. I really loved almost every aspect of that. But overall, through all the jobs that I've worked, my least favorite part has been that although I get to work closely with the other employees and the staff at the companies that I've worked for, I haven't really been able to influence the end user experience as much as I would like to. I have found through my personal caregiving experience and through my education that I am happiest when I'm working one-on-one directly with a customer or a client. So that's why I'm really looking forward to working as a phlebotomist and possibly also as a patient care technician in the future and eventually as a nurse.
Tell me something about yourself.
So I have just recently completed my training in my phlebotomy course at Collin College. I also have my certified nurse aide certification through Collin College. And I am on track to complete my patient care technician training in about 9 more weeks. I am going to be working as a phlebotomist, I hope. That's my plan. It's my favorite part of my training so far. I completed my clinicals, which required 400 blood draws or needle sticks, and I actually exceeded that number by almost 100. So I have almost 500 needle sticks. I have had very good training in how to document and keep records of all of the patient information regarding the lab work and the specimen collection. And so I feel like I'm ready to be a really good part of the team at LabCorp.
So would you describe yourself as a detail-oriented person?
Yes, all of the jobs that I have ever held have involved a lot of detail in the work, from researching and writing training manuals for software systems to training employees on computer systems and also company policies and procedure. And I also used a lot of detail, or also did a lot of detail work when I worked for the pastor of the church in scheduling meetings, taking minutes, and keeping track of multiple calendars across the staff. My final project at that job was going through paper files for 30 years worth of sermons for the pastor and getting them cleaned up and organized and prepared for digitizing so that he can have a permanent digital record of all of the work in his career. So I really like detailed work.
So how do you function in a high-pressure environment?
So I think the key to doing a good job in a high pressure environment is to get a jump on the day every day. So I try to start about 20 minutes before work actually begins and organize my schedule and my to-do list and get a vision for how I want the day to go to get everything important done. Obviously, things pop up all the time that require flexibility and adjustment to those plans, but I feel that starting out with a plan is the best way. And then through the day, I just try to keep my eyes on the overall goals. When things get really hairy, I take a deep breath and I focus in on the task or the person that's right in front of me at that moment, get that completed, get it documented, and then take another deep breath and look up and assess what the next important thing is that needs to be done and just keep going from there.
So what are your long-term career goals?
So as I mentioned earlier, my long-term career goals are to work as a nurse in a hospital setting. So to get there, I have to complete my patient care technician training, my prerequisites for nursing school, and then my 2 years of nursing school. Then I want to work in a hospital setting as an RN.